From wannabe predators who might not have killed anyone at all, to unstoppable monsters that just won't stay dead. Today we're breaking down 7 levels of serial killers, starting with the weakest and ending with the one killer no one escapes. So coming in at level 7, the weakest on this list, we have Patrick Bateman from American Psycho. And the main reason he's last is pretty simple. The whole movie literally questions if he even killed anyone at all. Like, okay, he's got the yuppie serial killer aesthetic down, and he talks a big game about his murders. And literally, even in the movie itself, everything gets dismissed and walked back, which is basically the film telling you that don't treat this like a real threat because it really isn't clear what's real. Now, yes, he still has that baseline psychopath package where he's violent and unhinged and thinks about killing constantly. And he also shows moments of genuine brutality that make you think maybe some of it happened. But when you rank killers, you rank what they can consistently bring as a threat. And Bateman's whole vibe is that he's not built to be a horror movie monster. He's built to be a commentary on 1980s Wall Street culture. He's basically the king of surface-level perfection, hiding inner emptiness. Like if the movie needs someone to represent vapid materialism and narcissism, they call up Bateman. And he handles the business card comparisons. But in a matchup sense, he kind of loses to anyone who has confirmed kills and a clear methodology. Like level 2 has actual body counts, and level 3 has hunting patterns. So Bateman is last because his threat level is the least confirmed and the least consistent when you look at actual danger. Plus, the dude spends half his time worrying about reservations at Dorsha instead of actually being a competent killer. That's why he's at the bottom. And at level 6, we have Billy Loomis and Stu Macher from Scream. And this is the spot where people in the comments will say, wait, Billy and Stu at level 6, aren't they literally Ghostface? And that is true. They created the whole Ghostface persona and kicked off one of the biggest slasher franchises ever. But here's the thing. Being iconic is not the same as being the most dangerous. Being memorable is not the same as being the most lethal. And when they're thrown into a fight with killers who have way higher body counts and better success rates, I don't really see them winning at all. Now sure, they had a decent plan, and they almost pulled it off. In their specific scenario, they knew exactly how to manipulate Sydney and the friend group. But their whole scheme falls apart by the end of one night. And Billy and Stu just aren't framed as unstoppable forces the way others on this list are. They're terrifying because they're your friends, people you trust. And they engineered a situation where you'd never suspect them until it's too late. But if you put them against a killer who's been hunting for years and has perfected their craft, they're not suddenly becoming master assassins. They're 2 teenagers with knives and a movie obsession. And yeah, they get points for creativity with the whole movies don't create psychos. Movies make psychos more creative angle. But creativity doesn't beat experience. It doesn't beat supernatural durability. And it definitely doesn't beat the kind of relentless evil that some of these other killers bring to the table. So Billy and Stu are sitting at 6 because they're dangerous in their own right, but they're outclassed the moment you move up the list. At level 5, we have Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And I'll say this carefully. Leatherface is underrated and overrated at the same time, because he's an absolute brute and horrifying to look at. But he's also kind of a tool for his family at the end of the day. And that baseline physical dominance matters a lot, though. He's not just a guy with a weird mask. The dude is a powerhouse who will run you down with a chainsaw in the Texas heat. Like he can function in environments where other people would collapse from exhaustion. And if you were anywhere near his property, bro, it's GG for you 100%. The chainsaw alone gives him a huge advantage in close quarters. You can't really block it, you can't really fight against it without getting shredded. And his raw physical strength means he can overpower pretty much any normal person without breaking a sweat. The problem is, Leatherface isn't really making his own decisions. His family is pulling the strings. They're the ones running the operation, and Leatherface is basically the enforcer. He's reactive, not proactive. He kills because his family tells him to, or because people wander onto the property. Places where his physical power matters, he dominates completely. But when you start comparing him to killers who hunt alone and plan their own moves, He's just outclassed by people who have both the brutality and the brains. People who either have the methodical patience like Hannibal Lecter or the supernatural persistence like Jason or Michael Myers. And that's what keeps him at level 5. At level 4, we have Jigsaw from the Saw franchise. And I'm putting him right in that sweet spot where intelligence and planning can carry you far, even if you're not physically doing the killing yourself. Now, Jigsaw is explicitly a killer who doesn't get his hands dirty most of the time. He's basically a dying man who builds elaborate traps and forces people into impossible moral choices. And the crazy part is, he doesn't even see himself as a murderer, which matters because it shows how twisted his worldview is. While other killers embrace what they are, Jigsaw has this "I'm teaching you to appreciate life" type of energy. It's this warped philosophy where he thinks putting people through horrific torture will make them better people if they survive. Now don't get me wrong, even though Jigsaw isn't physically overpowering anyone, this guy is still insanely dangerous. In terms of pure terror and psychological damage, he would 100% break you mentally before you even got to the physical traps. I mean, this guy is a master engineer and manipulator. He can predict human behavior, exploit your deepest flaws, and design traps that are basically unwinnable unless you're willing to mutilate yourself or sacrifice someone else. The elaborate nature of his games shows a level of planning and patience that most killers don't have. He's playing chess while others are playing checkers. But the reason he's not higher is because the list above him has killers who don't need complex setups. They just end you. No games, no philosophy, no second chances. Just death. And in a direct confrontation, Jigsaw would lose every single time because he's literally dying of cancer through most of the franchise. His power is in the preparation, not the execution. Which leads us to level 3, Hannibal Lecter from the Silence of the Lambs. And I'm not exaggerating when I say intelligence combined with no conscience is the most unfair combination in any killer debate. Because it's not just I'm smart. It's I know exactly how you think, and I'll use that to destroy you. Hannibal's whole existence is a nightmare, because if he decides you're interesting or useful, he'll help you. But if he's bored or you disrespect him, he can dismantle you before you even realize what's happening. And that means anyone without extreme caution or their own genius-level intellect is basically cooked. He's a psychiatrist who understands human behavior better than you understand yourself. He can read your body language, detect lies, and manipulate conversations to get exactly what he wants. The famous scene where he escapes custody shows that when Hannibal wants to kill, he's absolutely brutal and efficient. He doesn't need weapons. He'll use a pen, his bare hands, or literally anything around him. And the sophistication of his kills when he was free is legendary. The guy is a gourmet chef who serves his victims to dinner guests. That takes a level of confidence and control that most killers just don't have. The only reason he's not at number 1 or 2 is that Hannibal's approach has one big weakness. He needs to be interested. The moment a victim is boring to him or he's already eaten someone recently, his motivation drops. So that's why I have Michael Myers at level 2. And I'm going deeper here because Michael is the one people always try to explain away, mostly because he doesn't talk, and the movies frame him as pure evil with no clear motivation. But if you break down his profile, he's one of the most persistent threats in horror cinema history. He has that slasher durability where he takes hits that would kill normal people and just keeps coming. He can also fight up close when he needs to. But his real advantage is that he has an obsession that changes the entire dynamic of the hunt. Meaning, if he's locked onto you, he will find you. He doesn't need rest, he doesn't need a reason, he just needs you to exist. And in many scenarios, the killer who never stops is the killer who wins. That's why he's above Jigsaw and Hannibal. Because Jigsaw needs setup time and Hannibal needs motivation. Michael just needs to see you. And he's above Leatherface because, even though Leatherface is strong, Michael has the kind of relentless drive that outlasts pure strength. And he also has the durability to survive gunshots, stabbings, and falls that would kill anyone else. So he's not just a glass cannon, he's a walking nightmare. The Shape, as he's called in the original film, literally stalks Laurie Strode for an entire day before making his move. That patience, combined with his inhuman durability, makes him nearly unstoppable. Dr. Loomis spent years trying to convince people that Michael wasn't human, that he was pure evil, and the movies proved him right over and over. Michael has been shot, stabbed, burned, and beaten, and he always gets back up. Always. And the reason he's not number one is obvious. Because coming in at level 1 is Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th. And honestly, the reason he is number 1 isn't just that he has more kills than everybody. It's that his threat level covers every single scenario you can throw at him. He has brutal melee offense. He has superhuman strength. He has insane durability. He has that undead resurrection ability. And he also has environmental advantage at Camp Crystal Lake. So even if you somehow stop him once, there's still 3 other ways he comes back and ends you. And if you can't escape Crystal Lake because he knows every inch of it, you lose. If you try to fight him head on, you lose. If you try to hide, you will lose. And the scariest part is, he doesn't kill like someone who expects consequences. He kills like it's the only thing he knows how to do. And that single-minded purpose is key when it comes to who's the most dangerous. Because it means he doesn't hesitate, he doesn't negotiate, and he doesn't stop. He survived being blown up, drowned again, shot, stabbed, and even sent to space in one of the movies. And unlike Michael, who has a specific target, or Hannibal, who has specific tastes, Jason will kill anyone who comes to Crystal Lake. Doesn't matter if you're a teenager, a cop, or even another killer. If you're there, you're dead. The variety of kills also shows his adaptability. Machete, axe, sleeping bag against a tree, drowning, crushing, you name it. Jason has probably done it. And the fact that he literally cannot be permanently killed puts him above everyone else. Michael can be stopped temporarily. Hannibal can be captured. Jigsaw actually dies in his own franchise. But Jason keeps coming back. If you guys have a different opinion, please leave it in the comments down below. And if you want more videos like this, then hit that subscribe button and turn the notification bell on, so you will never miss any uploads.